Cronus Zen is officially cooked. Activision just fired a legal warhead and permabans are already beginning to roll out. Activision recently sent a cease and desist letter to the manufacturer of the Cronus Zens, as well as other third-party device makers. Quote, "We will take them to court if necessary. That is one of the strongest legal threats we've seen in COD history." Now, some of you might be asking, what exactly is a Cronus Zen? What does it do and why is it cheating? Well, a Cronus Zen is a USB dongle that sits between your gamepad, usually a controller, and your PC and or console. It spoofs as an authorized controller handshake so that the platform thinks that you're using a perfectly normal gamepad. Originally, it was used to let PlayStation pads work on Xbox and vice versa. Why is it so powerful for cheating? Well, there's a built-in feature that lets users in COD get thousands of free and or paid scripts to automate anything that a gamepad can do, including sending anti-recoil, rapid fire, slide cancel macros, drop shot macros, timed burst fire macros, the like. The Zen converts mouse movements into stick values as well, giving PC near precision while gaming so that PC players can get full aim assist while using a keyboard and mouse, or if you're using a keyboard and mouse on console, again, you can get full aim assist. Cheaters bind paddles and turn scripts on or off so they can look legit and or pass hardware checks at different points. So manual review isn't always necessarily the best because they may turn it on for a little bit, turn it off for a little bit. All logic runs in the dongle. There's no executable systems that run on a console or PC that make it a really hard to detect anti-cheat because it's happening before it even reaches the console. Typically, people will load up the Cronus Zen onto a PC. They will download their game packs. They will dial in any recoil values, usually using a Google Sheet or some other kind of available information or script that's available. They'll go into their game, they'll put the weapons in, and then they will create the sticky aim effect, basically. And this has created a huge problem in the Call of Duty community where it's like having an aimbot, but it's not, technically. Now, why is detection so hard? Again, it's an identical USB ID that consoles see as an authorized gamepad. Human things like scripts randomize the values to avoid perfect patterns, and they broadcast safe, only seen as normal controller inputs, not wall hack footage. So, for example, streamers that may potentially be using a Cronus Zen, you can't see the Cronus Zen because there's nothing running on their systems. Ricochet's new input integrity system analyzes rhythm, perfect linear recoil composition for every frame, for example, and flags impossible patterns. This is some of the ways that Activision has been beefing up their Ricochet system to try and catch these users. However, it is possible that Cronus Zen users are able to create imperfect patterns that make it really hard to detect. Some Cronus Zen users were mass banned in early 2024 and again in March of 2025. Now, Activision is coming at this with a whole new approach. They're coming at it from a legal perspective and a technical perspective. So in May of 2025, automatic replay AI now zeroes in specifically on ranked play to track for wall hack style kills that get escalated to human review in minutes. The new death widget that's been put in also allows you to know whether you were spotted by a heartbeat sensor, proximity alarm, UAV ping, etc., hopefully reducing false accusations. Now, on the 7th of May, Activision sent a cease and desist letter to Cronus and several other device makers, as well as launched a lawsuit against some of these device makers. In a statement, they said, "We will take them to court if necessary. Any account that utilizes these devices for cheating will be permanently banned." The company also says it's shut down 5 more cheat sellers and disrupted over 150 resellers since Black Ops 6 launched. 6 of the most common cheat functions you'll hear advertised is no recoil, aim abuse, rapid fire, sniper breath, drop shot, and jump shot mods. So all of these are different aim controls that devices like the Cronus Zen are put into place so that you can get your kills easier. Now, with all that being said, there is a legitimate use for devices like the Cronus Zen. For example, disabled gamers who need to remap triggers, cross-platform pad support, customized input devices that aren't necessarily supported, remapping of controllers, like all of that stuff. That is some of the legitimate uses that are possible with the Cronus Zen. What makes it bad is that they can have macros that can alter recoil and fire-based patterns and all of that. So Activision has basically now declared that all such manipulation is bannable regardless of accessibility arguments, which is unfortunate because honestly, I think accessibility in gaming is super important. And what might potentially be a good idea is for someone like Microsoft and or PlayStation and or any of the third-party companies that build hardware, release a legitimate accessibility-based system that allows for accessible controllers to be used on all platforms. I know there are accessible controllers that are available for each individual platform, but I think it's important that we don't kill the current accessibility, though the cheating does need to end. With all that being said, it's truly important that you make sure that if you're running any kind of devices like the Cronus Zen or any other third-party device, and you're not using it for cheating, you're using it for legitimate purposes, it's time to stop. It's time to head on over to Amazon or Walmart or wherever you buy your controllers from. Get yourself a legitimate controller, a legitimate keyboard and mouse, whatever it needs to be, because usage of your Cronus Zen and or other devices will highly likely read you a permaban in the near future, if not something worse. That being said, if you want to pick up a new controller or you're looking for a new keyboard and mouse, you head on down to the link in the bio here. I'll link some of my favorite devices that I use for my everyday gaming. Maybe there's something that you'll enjoy in there, maybe not. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to be releasing a video on the Season 4 map, which was just released. So keep an eye out on the socials. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit the little bell icon, and we will see you in the next video.